Welcome, Shadow Seekers, to American Shadows, Crimes and Chronicles. Today, we're unearthing a tale that'll haunt your thoughts long after it ends. Whether you're glued to the screen or just listening in, you're in for a wild ride through history's darkest corners. If you're new, hit subscribe to join our mission of exposing America's hidden truths. Regulars, your likes fuel our journey into the unknown. Now, let's peel back the layers of time and reveal the secrets beneath. Ready? Let's begin. 43 bullets, one Kingfish, the assassination of Huey Long. Hello friends, and welcome to American Shadows, Crimes and Chronicles. Today we're traveling back to September 8th, 1935, a day that would forever change the landscape of American politics and spark conspiracy theories that persist to this day. On this fateful evening, Senator Huey Pierce Long, the larger-than-life politician known as the Kingfish, was gunned down in the corridors of the Louisiana State Capitol, a building he had constructed as a monument to his own power. What transforms a controversial politician into a martyr? How does a moment of violence in a marble hallway echo through decades of American political discourse? And why, more than 80 years later, does the death of Huey Long continue to captivate the public imagination and fuel conspiracy theories? Before we dive into the events of that tragic September night, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you who support our work. Your likes, comments, and shares help us bring these shadowy corners of history to light. Your engagement fuels our passion for uncovering the stories that have shaped our nation, and we're truly grateful for each and every one of you. The rise of the Kingfish. To understand the significance of Huey Long's assassination, we need to step back and look at the America of the 1930s. The country was in the grip of the Great Depression. Poverty and desperation were widespread, and many Americans were looking for bold solutions and charismatic leaders. Enter Huey Pierce Long, a man who rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most polarizing figures in American politics. Long's political career was meteoric. By the age of 30, he was elected to the Louisiana Railroad Commission. By 34, he was the governor of Louisiana, and by 38, he was a U.S. senator. But it wasn't just his rapid rise that made Long remarkable. It was his style of governance and his ambitious policies. As governor, Long embarked on a massive program of public works. He built roads, bridges, and schools. He provided free textbooks to children and expanded Louisiana State University. But his methods were often heavy-handed and corrupt. He filled state offices with friends and family, intimidated opponents, and manipulated the state legislature to do his bidding. To his supporters, he was a champion of the common man. To his detractors, he was a dangerous demagogue. In the Senate, Long launched his Share Our Wealth program, a radical plan to redistribute the nation's wealth. He proposed limiting personal fortunes to $50 million, guaranteeing every family an annual income of $2,000, and providing pensions for the elderly. These ideas resonated with many Americans struggling through the Depression, and Long's popularity soared. By 1935, Long was openly challenging President Franklin D. Roosevelt, criticizing the New Deal as not going far enough. He was preparing to run for president in 1936, and many believed he had a real chance of winning. But Long had also made powerful enemies. His authoritarian tactics in Louisiana and his radical economic proposals had alarmed both the political establishment and wealthy elites. The fateful night. It was against this backdrop that Huey Long walked into the Louisiana State Capitol on the evening of September 8, 1935. He was there to push through a bill that would gerrymander a district to remove Judge Benjamin Pavey, a longtime opponent, from office. As he strode down the marble corridor, a man stepped out from behind a pillar. This was Dr. Carl Austin Weiss, a 29-year-old physician and Judge Poway's son-in-law. What happened next has been debated for decades. According to the official version, Weiss approached Long and shot him at close range with a .32 caliber pistol. Long's bodyguards immediately opened fire, riddling Weiss with over 60 bullets and killing him on the spot. Long, despite being shot in the abdomen, initially seemed to brush off the injury. "I'm not badly hurt," he reportedly said. "We'll be all right." But Long's bravado belied the seriousness of his wound. He was rushed to Our Lady of the Lake Hospital, where doctors struggled to save his life. For 2 days, the nation held its breath as conflicting reports about Long's condition emerged. Finally, on September 10, 1935, at 4:06 a.m., Huey Pierce Long died at the age of 42. His last words were reportedly, "God, don't let me die. I have so much left to do." The conspiracy theories. Almost immediately, alternative theories about Long's death began to circulate. Some claimed that Long had actually been shot by his own bodyguards in the chaos following Weiss's attack. Others suggested that Weiss had been framed, and that the real killers were Long's political enemies. These conspiracy theories were fueled by several factors. First, there was the speed with which Weiss was killed, leaving no opportunity for him to explain his actions. Second, there were inconsistencies in the physical evidence. The bullet that killed Long was never found, and some argued that the small caliber of Weiss's pistol couldn't have caused Long's extensive internal injuries. Moreover, Long's own deathbed statements added to the mystery. He reportedly asked, "What happened?" and "Who did it?" Questions that some interpreted as evidence that he hadn't seen his assailant. The absence of a thorough investigation immediately following the incident has only fueled speculation over the years. The impact and legacy. The impact of Long's death on American politics was profound. His Share Our Wealth movement lost momentum without its charismatic leader. Some historians argue that Long's death actually helped Roosevelt by removing a potentially serious challenger in the 1936 election. In Louisiana, Long's death led to a period of political turmoil as his supporters and opponents vied for power. Long's political machine continued to dominate Louisiana politics for years after his assassination. But without his fiery leadership, Longism gradually declined. However, his legacy in Louisiana was lasting. The state saw significant improvements in infrastructure, education, and social services during his tenure, although these achievements were often overshadowed by his autocratic methods. On a national level, Long's assassination removed a major political challenger to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had viewed Long's populist movement as a potential threat to his New Deal policies. The death of Long marked the end of a unique brand of populism that had captured the imagination of many Americans during the depths of the Great Depression. But perhaps the most enduring legacy of Huey Long's assassination is the way it has captured the American imagination. Long's larger-than-life personality, his rapid rise to power, and his violent end have all the elements of a Greek tragedy. His story has inspired novels, plays, and films, including Robert Penn Warren's Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, All the King's Men. The persistent conspiracy theories surrounding Long's death also reflect a deeper strain in American political culture, a distrust of official narratives, and a tendency to see hidden forces at work behind significant events. In this sense, the theories about Long's assassination can be seen as precursors to later conspiracy theories about the deaths of John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., and others. As we reflect on the events of September 8th to 10th, 1935, we're left with profound questions about power, democracy, and the nature of political violence in America. Was Huey Long a champion of the people or a dangerous demagogue? Was his assassination the act of a lone gunman or part of a larger conspiracy? And how might American history have been different if Long had lived to challenge Roosevelt in 1936? This is American Shadows, where we peer into the darker corners of our nation's past. Until next time, remember that history isn't just a collection of dates and names. It's a living force that shapes our world in ways both seen and unseen. The echoes of those gunshots in the Louisiana State Capitol continue to resonate today, reminding us of the complex interplay between populism, power, and violence in American politics. As we go about our daily lives, let's take a moment to reflect on the legacy of Huey Long. For in understanding our past, we gain insights that can help us navigate the complex political landscape of our present and future. The shadows cast by that September night in 1935 are long indeed, and they continue to influence our political discourse in ways we are still struggling to understand.